Hello everyone, I'm Rushlock, and today's video is for coverage of Evaganda's Rixx Javix's post for the Alliance Tournament debate. First up, Rixx, this is a fantastic image. It looks awesome. However, what is this, Rixx? You're better than this, alright? You know better. You've got the site all dark moded up wonderfully, not living like a savage, and then you do something like this. We can't read this, Rixx. Come on. Do better. Alright, shit talking out of the way, let's get into the actual message. A Band Apart currently has 455 members according to Zkill, 461 according to Eve Who. Either way, that is a solid number of a primarily low-sec-based alliance with a high-sec industrial arm and some wormhole tendrils, and one very determined high-sec ganker. No complaints from me, but when compared to our null-sec-based fellow alliances, these are very, very small numbers. Heck, there are 9 corporations with more members in them than our entire alliance. I bring this up not to compare ourselves to others, but as a basis of a debate raging in my mind. Last year we spent many months preparing, practicing, and building for the Alliance tournament only to lose our first 2 matches. I personally spent close to 65 billion ISK during those months, and that isn't counting the 13,000 plex we spent to buy our way into the tournament to avoid the runoffs. Some of that plex was donated, and much appreciated by the way. But still about 8,000 of that came out of my vault. Heck, some of that ISK was also donated, and as always, sincerely appreciated. More importantly, however, practicing 2 to 3 times a week for months and months takes a toll not only on my real life, but also on the amount of time I have to spend on TQ, which dramatically impacts not only Stay Frosty, but also the larger alliance. My point is, in the debate I'm having right now, is it worth it? Now please, don't get me wrong, as anyone knows, I love the Alliance tournament. I love being in it, I love the practices, the theory crafting, flying with my friends, all of it. I have flown in the 23 AT matches. ABA once came in 11th overall, which remains our best finish. We have flown in some truly incredible matches. For the longest time, one of my primary goals was to eventually win or finish top 3 in the Alliance tournament. I haven't been shy about any of this, which is why I started this post looking at our numbers. Is this even a feasible goal? Whenever my brain starts asking this question, it immediately throws the Tuskers at me. The Tuskers always managed to compete well in the AT, even winning the darn thing once with only 174 members in their alliance. And this is true. It is also true that many made-up alliances often do well in the AT. A bunch of friends throw something together just to fly in the tournament. It happens. None of which is a fair apples-to-apples comparison. ABA isn't built the same way other groups are built. We just aren't. Which is why we are unique. Not necessarily better, mind you, just different. So it is unfair to everyone to make comparisons, and yet that is how my brain works to torture me. The fact is, last year's AT run took a lot out of me. It took away a big chunk of my summer, it took away a big chunk of my playtime in-game, and it left a big hole in the content creation that Stay Frosty thrives on, the echoes of which are still being felt in-game right now. In many ways, it was like taking a huge punch in the stomach while you weren't ready for it. I'm still debating, but I have to admit that I might be leaning towards stepping away from AT competition for a while. Perhaps we skip years. Perhaps we enter again, but with someone else leading the team. I don't know, which is why it is a debate. I'm torn. We'll see how I feel about it after a few more months have passed. So when I read this the first time, the first thought that I had was how much this, with a different context, but it very much echoes the New Bro conversation. Where I tell them, because they ask, what should I do in Eve, or, what's the best ISK per hour, things like that, looking for something to do, looking for a direction. And the extra sweaty ones who are looking to make the ISK per hour, I tell them, you have to find something you enjoy doing first, because if you don't, you're just going to accelerate yourself into burnout. And that's what this sounds like to me. It sounds like burnout. And Rixx, might be quick, oh, no, I still love all of it. And sometimes people, whether it's Rixx or not, some people will not realize that you can love something, you can enjoy something, and you can still burn out on it. And sometimes that stepping away, that temporary break, is exactly what you need. That isn't me saying that Rixx should, pushing in that direction or trying to advise toward it, just to keep it in mind. And to anyone listening to this, you might have activities on your end that mimic or mirror or echo the thoughts and feelings that Rixx is displaying or sharing with their thought process of approaching the next AT setup. Rixx is very specific in this post about enjoying the process, right? And it's just maybe the time sink, never enough time in the day. But it all leads back to the burnout factor. And a break sometimes does that. Doesn't mean you have to stop playing Eve. Doesn't mean you have to stop doing the AT. He even mentions this in the article. Maybe you just need to find someone else to lead. But you have to make sure that the time and the effort you're putting into something is sustainable. And I think a lot of times, folks, especially with AT training, from what others have told me about it, like, that obviously isn't sustainable. But there's also definitely groups and individuals who have made it, the majority of ATs and majority of fights in game and all that good stuff. So, like, there are people who can do this decade after decade, but you have to remember not everyone's life circumstances are the same. And now we'll probably branch off into a whole other topic about perspective and viewpoints and how some people will value their own play style and activities and then try to tear down others to add value to their own and not understand other people's backgrounds as they come to the game. But for Rixx, we'll see how it plays out. I would probably just point out that you have to really look at it from a perspective of, is this enriching? Is this adding positive gain to my life? Or am I investing 40 hours of hard work for a 2-hour payoff? And these numbers are arbitrary, of course, but I guess the part that stood out to me the most about him was him posting about how much of his time it took. And maybe somebody within ABA will step up and take the lead, and maybe they can pass it off, year to year and develop a system like that. And but I'm not familiar enough with the membership of ABA to know if somebody's in position to do that. I guess we'll find out. But if you guys have stories of your own to share, please do so in the comments down below. This is a YouTube video, so hit the like button, subscribe. I think I'm supposed to say all that at the beginning of the video because few people make it to the end. But yeah, comment down below with your stories of similar burnouts, or maybe you've organized certain events for your organization and you've had moments of like, is this worth it? Is this what I should be putting my time and resources into? Because yeah, I find them personally interesting. So definitely share, and we'll talk to you next time.